Hi everyone, welcome to the Icehouse podcast, conversations with Icehouse alumni and team with a purpose to inspire other owners and leaders in their business journey and also to highlight the stories of our amazing alumni. Today we have Lucia Xiao on the podcast, founder of Finax and Property Wealth Mentoring. She is based in Auckland and she is actually the owner, an alumni of the Owner Manager 54 program. I'm really looking forward to chatting to Lucia, so thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
Thank you, Bryar. Yeah, I'm so glad to be here as well. Yeah.
So cool. So yeah, you've just finished up your program. Looking forward to hearing a bit about that. But first of all, I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Lucia?
Who's me? Okay. I am a property coach, mentor. So basically, I teach people like how to buy the right property, because what we found that people are reluctant to buying their homes. One problem is like a lot of them, they don't know they can do it. So we're teaching them that yes, you can do it, and also I show you how to do it. Yeah. And also another one is like they worry about buying the wrong property that that might actually get them bankrupt, or they're losing all the deposit or something. So I think that's important that my being a coach and a property coach and a mentor, I'm actually teaching people and helping them to do it. Also, I'm a financial advisor, so I do provide advice on the mortgages and insurance. Yeah. And also founder, obviously the founder of the Finax mortgages and insurance. Yeah. So started a business about 60 years ago after 15 years in the bank. And so the first probably like 4 years is pretty much just myself and the just an assistant. So literally, I think the business only just been proper set up like probably like 18 months ago. Yeah. So that's me.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Very, very cool. Great. That gives us a really good overview of what you do. If you had to pick a couple words to describe you, what words would you pick?
I think will be what's it like tenacious. What's the word? Yeah, and also the solution finder. So basically, I'm really driven about finding a solution for our clients. Yeah. And also never give up. I do believe that that's something that I need to do, and it's it's going to be benefit others. The clients or the team. I definitely, doesn't matter I fail, I will pick it up and I will, we probably will talk about it more, like the story I can share. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. And we were just talking just before this, we pressed record, but you are very driven. I, as we were chatting about, look after Icehouse Centre, our community platform, and seeing you use our Ask and Offer feature and ask questions and gain as much insight from the network and the alumni as you can, just proves just that driven nature that's sort of embedded into who you are, which I love to see. It's very cool. It's very awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, getting the best out of everything, right? It's great. So what does your personal career journey look like? I'd love to hear how you got to where you are today in terms of your career and and what led to your businesses.
So I migrated to New Zealand in 1999, and then it was quite tough, obviously, like literally like back home was kind of middle class, and then ended up like here it's kind of right in the bottom because you didn't know anyone. There's no network you can tap into it. So I had to work in the chicken shop, selling chickens. Yeah, I think the hourly rate was $8.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quite tough. Yeah. And then later on, I think I was able to secure a job at working in the bank. And so that time was quite lucky that, being able to come across my first life mentor, which is my husband's grandmom, because I was looking for work because, obviously I made a decision that, I didn't want to just stay home being a mom, having a one income support and sort of things like that. So I knew that I wanted to get a job. So at the time was kind of just looking for jobs that didn't really require any communication. Yeah, but I didn't get any response because obviously people look at your CV and say, well, you are overqualified, like sort of things like that. And so luckily was talking to my husband's grandmom at the time, and she kind of encouraging me to kind of like looking at different perspective, like what would you want to do rather than what are you looking for, so I said, oh, I always want to work in a bank. And then she just asked me, so did you apply? I said, no, I didn't. So I think that encouragement just made me to send out 2 CVs. So when you become really targeted, and obviously that you are able to get what you wanted, so very quickly I secured a job working in the ASB. So I was progressed, from a tailor. I think when I first got a job was $25,000 a year, but at that time was a lot of money to us. It was really grateful. And obviously that just sets us that we were no longer being able to qualify the living in the house in New Zealand, because I think there's like a threshold or something. So working in the ASB kind of progressed from the tailor and then personal banker, and I think it's personal account manager or something. And then later on was given the opportunity to run the branch for a short while. I didn't really particularly like the people management. Maybe I didn't, at that time I didn't have the patience, but obviously now it's quite different. But at that time I didn't have much like a patience. I think it's probably just quite selfish, all about myself, growth, my personal growth and things like that. So I wouldn't become a mobile, insurance manager. And then later on I was working in the business banking. In ASB, so I was there for 15 years and realized that probably not much I could actually continue to learn or to progress. And I think so it was quite good that I got this made a call and then kind of prepare all the finance and everything, and then let the bank. So that was my career journey.
Wow.
In a corporate. Yes.
What was that light bulb moment of going, okay, I could do something on my own here?
Yes, I believe that in your life there were times, as you started questioning yourself why you are there. Because obviously, I was, I spent quite a bit of time in the bank, and some days you realize you become really, that your job is really repeatable. Just like in you see the customer, you say the same thing, you're doing the same thing, and you started pondering, like, hey, is it this what I'm going to do for the rest of my life? And then you also seeing like those senior managers, they are 30, 40 years and didn't really understand what's the outside world. So to me, it's really similar, like the time that when I was living in China, you are quite limited and knowing like the world you live in, you don't really understand the outside world, because I couldn't imagine myself if I was still living in China and didn't migrate here, that I could, doing what I'm doing now, because obviously if it's you didn't go through some crisis in your life, because obviously at that time was quite a lot of mindset changing, because from a middle class suddenly you are nobody. No one even know about you can't even speak English properly, you didn't even have a job. So you really had to readjust yourself. So I do appreciate it, but also I also in some ways good as well, because obviously back home you're wasting too much time on those like nonsense social, like people's birthday parties, sort of things like that. But here you actually being able to focus on what I trying to become, rather than care about what what others want from you. So
wow, amazing. Look what you've built. It's very, very cool. That's a really special story, and I think there's a lot in that journey of actually coming here from another country and having to rebuild essentially your life and who you are, and being able to sort of take some bold steps to set that up how you want to set that up. It's quite a story of grit and perseverance for sure. So well done, Lucia. It's a massive feat. I'd love to dive into that a little bit more and go, what was one of your biggest challenges in the business journey that you're on, and what did you learn from it?
The bigger challenge, I guess it's like, because to me, I didn't have a business skill. Obviously, like from the banking background, yes, I understand the banking, I understand the lending, I understand the insurance advisory, and I'm really good at sales. Because literally that's what ultimately that you were learning that skill set. Like when you are in the working in the bank in those roles, yeah. And I think hardest one is probably the don't have a people, like a people management skill, because I didn't really appreciate at that time when I was given the opportunity to manage the branch, so it's only for a really short, like 6 months or something. Yeah. So I think the hardest might be it's the people management, and also as well as trying to understand, because like when I set up my business, obviously, I can carry what I'm doing, just being a mortgage advisor, have assistant, that's it. It's only like a couple of years ago, I started to realize that I need to change that, and literally kind of started seeing that as as a business. Yeah. So I think I had to win out to different programs. There are some like at the time I didn't hear about Icehouse. It was some Australia. They were here running some like 1 day free events. So I went and joined and paid $12,000, join their programs, and then just trying to understand the whole business skill set. Also understand the marketing, because I realized before I didn't even know what's marketing. I saw sales and marketing are same thing, and realized, oh no, sales is sales, marketing is marketing. Yeah. So I had to went out to learn the marketing skill, and forcing myself to do this like what's it, like an online course. Yeah, it's so boring. Like you had to click here, go here, click here. Oh my God, I had to force myself to sit in front of the computer and then just finish those courses. Yeah. And also the other one was public speaking, like presentation. Yeah. So basically, like investing in myself, I would have think like probably investing like would it be maybe close to 100 grand, like just in different sort of like programs or like business, courses or something, just trying to understand, how to run the business. Yeah. So the business really took off probably just like since August 2020. So that was just like the COVID happened, and then it's kind of a great opportunity for us. We started hire engage like a marketing contractor, and then like and then it's make a huge difference, like to the business. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Great insight into challenges, and then on the flip side, what you've done about it in terms of your personal growth and upskilling in ways that you've had limited information or knowledge on. So it's brilliant. What's been a highlight in the business journey so far?
Probably just in such a short period of time, I was able to build a business, and I think people are quite surprised that wow, like from 2 people, we actually become like 20-something people, just in 18 months time. Yeah. And also I was able to attract, because a lot of like people that are running the mortgage advisory business, they found themselves that having a difficulty trying to get a good staff. Like there are some like ex-bankers, they're really good, but a lot of them, they probably wouldn't have set up their own practice rather than actually go and join the company. Yeah. So I was lucky enough that being able to actually because we had those advisors, and 80% of them is actually from the main bank background, and it's quite a strong background. Like some was like business banking, commercial banking, some was actually like branch managers. Yeah. So, or like triple, like a mobile mortgage manager. So they actually really experienced that, and also they're really good person as well. Yeah, because obviously I didn't realize that I was able to attract those people until like talking to other like business owners, and then they were telling me their struggle, like because I said, oh, how come you guys got no one from the bank? Yeah. And I said, oh, we always having that issue. Yeah, because since I was quite lucky that having the people like because when they're coming from the banking background, of course they just make your life much easier. They already understand that
they get it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love that people is a big highlight for you, bringing them along on your journey, and what they can do to support build to support to build the vision, which is great.
Yeah.
What motivates you to get up in the morning, and what does your morning routine look like? I just love these sort of practical questions in terms of how you set yourself up for
I think used to be like, obviously I want to help the customer, right? And now it's more like I want to help my staff. Yeah. So a lot of started, when they because obviously I hire a bit of staff members during the COVID 2020, and some of them they were made redundant from the the travel and tourist sector. Yeah. Some of them they had a banking experience, some they didn't. Yeah. And I do found that, and we were able to provide a platform and allows people to actually grow from there. So we had like people, they, like probably not necessarily, they probably used to be a mortgage advisor on their own, but they found themselves unable to, sorry.
That's okay.
So they found themselves, they were unable to actually kind of like, continue with their business as a mortgage advisor. It's actually not an easy job being a mortgage advisor, because literally you had to try to get the leads, right? And they had to be quality. You had to write a business, and you had to negotiate with bank. You're also trying to build a relationship with your customers, so they're not running away. Because very often mortgage advisors, they provide all those free, services. And if the customer not going to settle with them, they're literally doing, they got no income. Yeah. So it's quite a tough job if they actually out there on their own. Yeah. So we were able to actually build a platform and allows people to able to grow. We provide a support, and some of them they probably able to write like 4 times the business that they used to write, either when they work in the bank or even like when they were on their own being their mortgage advisor. Yeah. So I think that's probably just motivated me to kind of get up in the morning now. They're seeing our staff, and some of them are actually, of course, actually kind of like we actually going to actually introduce staff to come to the leadership program, because I've done the owner management program. So I think one of the staff is coming to the June, the leadership program. Yeah. So obviously we will graduate sending them over this way, because very often they might be only just looking their work, they just a small work. Yeah, they are not in a position to look at a overview of the business, so we actually want to upskill those young professionals. Yeah, because a lot of them they're very young, just like kind of like around 30s or something. Yeah, so mature enough. And then also I'm quite happy to actually helping them to kind of like go to the next step. Yeah. What's my morning routine? So basically, like normally I probably wake up, probably around 7 o'clock or something. If I do have a time, I kind of like will do a bit of like a meditation for 15-20 minutes. Yeah. Otherwise, I will just have my breakfast. So my breakfast normally just fresh fruit. Sort of like at the moment you can get a peach or otherwise fresh one, and then after that is followed by a tomato egg soup, and then followed by like a piece of bread, with honey. Yeah. So that's my morning. It's very boring. Yeah, I think I
love that.
And then awesome. For work, and then I'll go out for work. And I usually it's kind of like because we live in a lifestyle block. Yeah, so we can go out for a walk. It's probably like 15 minutes fast to walk. And come back, maybe just do some, if I have time, do some stretch exercise. If it's not, I probably have a shower and go to work. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Oh wow, I love that. I just love hearing about people's morning routines and what sets them up for a win. But also very cool to hear about you wanting to invest into your leaders in your business. And I always hear from our business owners, when they pop one of the key leaders on the leadership development program, they then end up speaking the same language. They're looking at the business in the same lens, and has benefits both ways. So that's exciting to be going on that journey. I'd love to hear when did you first hear of the Icehouse and the owner manager program itself?
I think I might heard about a possibility maybe 3 years ago. And at that time I did look at the criteria. It says like you need to have a trading revenue like $3 million. So that put me off, because at that time it's only just myself and then assistant. So in no way we're trading a $3 million, right? So only until last year, because obviously the business has been running properly for a year, we realized that we are able to actually on track to that go, and we got a team, that sort of things like that. So only last year that, I come to the study, kind of like get engaged with the Icehouse and come to the program. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So cool. That's great. What was your experience like on the program? You've obviously just finished up. I'd love to hear how you found it.
I think I love the group of because you kind of become quite intimate, you kind of getting to know each other quite well. Yeah. And obviously, like there are times that they might share about their their issues or something that you kind of like can learn from that. Yeah. And also like they keep bringing all those different like specialists that, like the people I haven't heard of, and I know that if I need something, that's someone that I can tap into it. Yeah. So very good. I really like that, they're doing this profiling that, that last time that, Andy Hamilton actually was in our group, and was quite interesting because obviously he wants to understand like what's your goal. Yeah. And so the feedback from him was quite cool that, Lucia, yes, you are very inspirational, like you got your goal here, but remember you got 3 steps to get there. Don't stay there. Come again. That's what you need to do. So it's quite good. Yeah. So I guess networking it's good, and also we, there are things I've been kind of like picked up from there and started using it. Yeah. So yes, yeah. So it's really good programs, like I think it's probably more about the people, like the people you're getting to know, the networking, the knowledge you can share. Yeah.
100% about being able to leverage that network afterwards, and your cohort of 20 or so people that you've done the program with, you will always have a strong bond. It's amazing when I see those cohorts getting together 10 years later, still catching up every year just to check in and see how business is doing and life is doing. I think it's so special. So I completely agree with that. I'd love to hear if there were any changes that you implemented into your business, but also your lifestyle since doing the program.
The thing we implemented is probably there are some tools we're using, like because obviously I never heard about my HR, and I think the first time I heard about like another business owner was talking about my HR, so I kind of like study researching it. And then so, and also use the Icehouse Center to actually kind of understand what's this about, and so a lot of good comment about it. So we decided to sign up with them, and awesome. it has been really good, like absolutely value for money that, because in terms for the business that, we are kind of going through a bit of restructuring, and it does help us quite a lot, like taking me through the whole process, which is just make it so easy for me, because obviously those guys, they've been doing that for a long time. They really know the steps, the process, the paperwork. They dropped up the email for you. All I need to do is copy and paste.
Wow.
So it's really so it's really good. And I think others might be our stars KPI. So because before we didn't really actually, because it's kind of like a business, kind of quite a new business, so we didn't really actually kind of like having some sort of like a KPI setup, tracking their performance. And obviously that's absolutely important. And so
great.
Took away some like good tools that we will continue to use as well. I don't think I changed my lifestyle at all. So it's pretty much that, like that's what
that's so interesting. I love that. So my HR, which is great, and it was cool to see you ask that question on Icehouse Central, and then be able to follow through knowing that other people, other business owners, the Icehouse use it themselves, and I love that. Great things that you're implementing into your business. Do you have a piece of advice that you'd give a business owner right now? Maybe something that's stuck with you, or something that's just on your heart at the moment?
It's probably like depends on, because sometimes very often I come across people, they will come to me and saying like, want to do the business, like they want to get into the business. And the business is not like if you can't find a job, you come into the business. It's people are thinking, I can't find a job, so I start my business. I said, no.
No.
I said, tell me like what's your purpose of this?
Yes,
And never ever be making a money, because some people, I'm going to set up this business, I'm going to make $80,000 a year. I said, no, come back. What's your purpose? What value are you adding to people? So I actually probably stopped some people getting into business, because after talking to me, I realized they don't have a purpose. So I don't know whether it's good or bad. But
brilliant advice.
Yes, so I think it's important that when you want to start your own business, you need to really make it really clear what's your purpose. Because obviously back then when I set up my business, it was very simple. I want to help people, because I know that lots of people, they can't get funding, or they don't know what kind of house they should buy. They were scared about buying the houses. The home ownership, a lot of people think like they can't buy their home. But I know that they can. It's not about they can't do it, it's that they don't even know they can do it. So I know that my purpose. So the first thing is that if you want to set up your business, you need to really, really focus on what's your purpose. And if you are already doing that, then that's awesome. And remember, never give up, because there are times that it's quite tough for me. Like when I can give you some example. Like when I first actually going to get into this public presentation, because I know that it's not good I sell one-on-one, right? I need to actually sell to a group. And I know that I need to because as well as doing the mortgage advisory, I also set up the property coaching. So I need to actually being able to present to people. So I actually run a presentation, an event, and I remember it was the 8th of August 2019, and it's a Wednesday evening. So I hired the event, and I saw it's going to be awesome. I've been through those courses, and I was practicing the scripts, But the whole thing, what happened is it was 35 people in the room, right? We done I pay people for the marketing, Facebook ad, 35 people in the room. And then after I finished my presentation, I even have my customer come in, and then I tell people how great, how much they have achieved. I have all my family member, my husband, my 2 kids, and also there's an old friend from the bank, talking. So it's 9 of us, we were there. And then after I finished the presentation, and everyone stood up, and then they all left one by one.
Oh wow!
A thing.
Wow. Crazy, You're like, oh no.
Wow, that would have been. And at the time, I was also promote my book. So So in my book, actually, it's 5 steps, 5 years, like financial freedom, and just my personal story of living in a state house to in 5 years, I was building $17 million property portfolio. So literally, people can be just ruined, because I've seen people they did a webinar, no one showed up, and then they wouldn't do it again. So what I did is very, I kind of reflect, what I did wrong. So what I did is the next event, I still running the event. 2 months later, I come back, and I run the event, but this time it's actually in the office. So we got the office there, it's only just me and the assistant. So what we did is we got this table, we just put a table away, set it up. I think that one is probably the space in the middle, possibility probably 70, 80 square meter or something. So it's big enough, for 20, 30 people. I didn't have many people. I think we had probably 15 people, including a couple people I already know. But at least that's a start. So that's how I, started, running my workshop. It was, I think it was a 2 hours one, and really small group pop up. But I kind of able to go from just a small to later on, that when we were running the workshops, 45 groups, 67 people showed up. And I was quite confident, because I realized it's not about me trying to finish my script, but actually it's the audience. Right. So I was able to actually see their reactions, understand where they really get my, the content I want to share, sort of things like that. So
that's so inspiring.
Lots of fun. Lots of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand, you know, what it's like to do events or webinars or things where no one shows. But I think you're so right. The key is to keep consistent with it and not to get disheartened when, you know, something doesn't go how you want, but to dig in and to keep going, feel the fear, do it anyway. I think that's exactly what you've done. And now you've built a really great base of people. So that is inspiring, because many people, like you're saying, would go, oh, that was embarrassing, or that didn't go how I wanted, I'm out. That's me. I'm never doing an event or a webinar again. So that's very inspiring. Very, very cool. Thank you for sharing that. Also, I just want to touch on your purpose and how you said, you know, how important purpose is. A personal journey for me, we moved from Auckland to Tauranga at the end of last year, and we've just bought our first home, which is so cool. And the mortgage, my mortgage advisor 100% was the reason why we bought that house. Me and my husband went into that meeting and I thought, oh no, we're not going to be able to afford a house, and left feeling inspired that actually we could do it if we just saved a little bit more, and that would not have happened without our mortgage advisor. So yeah, it's interesting to hear that that's your purpose and your why behind what you guys do too. So love that. Nearing the end of the podcast now, would love to hear who is one person that's been really influential in your business journey?
Oh, I think absolutely had to be Richard Branson. Yeah.
Yes.
Because
yep.
yes, yeah. What happened is like I think probably back maybe a long time ago, maybe 2009 or 2010, that, you know, I was giving a book by my husband. And, you know, that was Richard Branson's book, you know, Business Street Bear, is it? Yeah. And at that time I couldn't read it, yeah, because I think it's quite a lot of like people here, yeah. And obviously, I think at that time my mindset was actually just all about myself. Yeah. So I couldn't finish the book. Yeah. So literally, it was only just after I, you know, like I was running, would it be just like maybe 3 years ago, I picked up the book and started reading it. Yeah. And it was really good, you know, because obviously, like he talked about you know, like you know, you want to train people where you're not, so they can lead. And you want to treat the people where you're not, so they don't want to leave. Yeah. So it's, yeah. So I think it's absolutely, and he's always curious. You know, like he set up so many business, and you know, any you know, like anything that, you know, he found it interesting, you know, he just get into it. You know, like yeah. And I think it's very very inspirational. You know, like by reading his book. And yeah, and he's an adventure, right? Yeah, he just go ahead and do things, you know. It's not because it's too big for him, or yeah. And I actually love the way that he just like, I mean, the way he set up business is just like he will he you know, he want to go ahead with the idea, he set up a team, and that's it. And then he's let the team to run it. That's it. Yeah. So I thought that's really brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. And also another one is making quick decision, because apparently that when he decided to sell the the airline or something, he only giving like a, you know, like a basically just one night to think about it. Yeah. So I think that's quite crucial as well, that, you know, you do need to make quick decisions, yeah, in the business if you want to be successful. Yeah.
Great answer to that one. Our last question for you today. So the byline or the manifesto at Icehouse is grit goes further together. What does that idea, grit goes further together, mean to you?
I mean, if you are on your own, it's quite tough. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because you do need to actually have a group of people, or maybe like someone that you can actually tap into, you know, might be your business coach or business mentor or someone. Yeah. So it's quite important knowing that you are not alone, because obviously there are other people probably experience the same thing, or maybe they already done it. Yeah. And yeah, I certainly absolutely like I think I've been like living a number of names, you know, like people I know that they might be benefit from the owner manager program. Yeah. So I think will be I think Gareth was trying to get hold of me. Yeah. So we had a chat with him. Yeah.
Yeah, so cool. Yeah, that's exactly it. Grit goes further together just means, you know, life's better in community. it's better doing it with others than by yourself. And Lucia, honestly, just such an inspiring conversation to hear your story over the last sort of 5 or so years, and just what you got from the Owner Manager program and the people that you're impacting in your world now through what you do and your purpose. So thank you so much for this conversation and for your time, and yeah, really looking forward to, you know, supporting you along the way as you continue to be part of the Icehouse community. So appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bryar. Yeah, we certainly will talk to each other on the Icehouse Center. Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds
Thank you.
great.